welcome to another live. I hope you guys are well. Let me set you guys up on my computer. So guys, welcome. Welcome. Today we're going to continue on our episode from yesterday where we were talking about, going to the continent of Africa and making sure that you get everything in order, hiring an assistant, and all the good jazz. That's what we were talking about yesterday. And I said today I'm going to talk about shipping. What stuff should you take with you? Is it worth it shipping your stuff there? So that's what we're going to talk about today. So you guys, welcome everybody who joined the live. All questions will be answered after. So yeah, let's get into the live. So, is it worth the money to ship your belongings to Africa when you're relocating to Africa? Is it really worth it? Let's fix the volume here. Okay, volume is all the way up. So, many of us are moving to the continent of Africa, and we want to find out things. What is worth it? What is not? What is there? What is not? You know what I'm saying? So I'm here to tell you what we are doing, and we have done our research. So we know a lot of things that is there and things that is not there. We don't know everything, but we have a good idea of some things that we should take with us and things that we should not take with us. So since last year, I've been gathering information about the different things that we're going to need there. When I say that, I mean like equipments and tools and different things like that. So I've been kind of gathering information. So the first thing that I did was make a book. This is my book. It is called Relocating to Africa. And in that book, I'm going to show you this page. As you can see, the first page says equipment and tools, right? So equipment and tools for gardening. So that's the first page I have here. And on this page, I have everything that I think I'm going to need for gardening, right? So example, I have seeds and grow bags and grass seeds and garden fabric, chainsaw, cutting saw, different screws and nails. I mean, that's just starter things because eventually you're going to figure out where stuff are. But we have all this stuff here, so why not take it with us? You know what I mean? So that's why I make this note. I have like a well pump. I have like different types of gloves that I use here, like different types of tape, like the lawnmower, and different kind of things that relates to garden. So this is what I have on my list here. Now, on the other part, it continues, and then I have another separation, and I talk about, I list other tools like the painting, like paint thinner, scissors, sharpener for tools. That's important. Like certain tools like the lawnmower, if you're gonna need to sharpen it, you're gonna need a special tool. Like the chainsaw, you need a special tool to sharpen the chainsaw. So I put that all down on my list. And then I move on to the next part, which is plants. And I list all the things that I want to grow there. And so I make a list of what I can take with me when it comes to seeds and berries and stuff like that. I make a note of that. I know like there's roses there, there are certain berries there. These things like I don't need to take them, but like my nettle seeds, like my callaloo seeds, my different varieties of mint, so things like that I make a list of because I know these are the things that I want to plant there. I want to grow them in my garden, so I'm going to take it with me. And then the list just goes on in my book. I move on to sewing, things that I want to take with me for sewing, like my sewing gear. I have my sewing machines and like the bobbins, the threads, all different things like that. I make a note of that, what I'm going to take with me. And the list just goes on, and it says everything that I want to take with me when I get to the continent of Africa. So it's important to make a list of things that you think you're gonna need. I like to garden, so obviously I'm going to be taking things for gardening. So I made a long list of all my gardening supplies and things that I want to take. And I sew. So therefore, I'm going to take things for sewing. A lot of sewing, like the needles and the threads and the different things to fix my sewing machines and stuff like that. I want to make sure I have that. I know they have it there, but I don't know where it is. And I'm there, so, and I don't know the place. So just in case, anything goes wrong and I'm there sewing and I don't know how to get my thread or something like that, at least I I have something with me so I can go ahead and I can sew. So that is what I took with me. Okay. So the next thing on my list is just like basic things like insect repellent, basic things that I think maybe I'm not going to find there. I make a list of that also, like different kind of medications, like EpiPens and that kind of stuff until I navigate myself over there and see where things are. But I just make a list so I can prepare myself for all the things that I gonna need for that space of time when I'm there. So making a list is very, very important. So let's move on to the part about, is it really worth it to ship your stuff there? And let's go into depth on, is it really worth it? So when you're thinking of bringing your stuff on the continent of Africa, you want to think about the value of your belongings. And when I say value, I mean, if you want to bring your furnitures and stuff like that, you got to see if your furniture has value. What kind of furniture you have? Is your furniture antique furniture? Is your furniture hardwood? Is your furniture a furniture that is going to last for years and years, or you had that furniture for years and it's just looking so beautiful and looking so good? Is that furniture that you want to take with you there? So you have to kind of reevaluate, look at stuff and see if it's worth it to spend all this money to ship that furniture. Did you recently buy this furniture? Like I said, is it antique? Is it something really important that you should take with you on the continent? So you have to evaluate that kind of stuff. If you have something and it's like an old antique furniture and like it was in your family for a long, long time and you want to take that with you, because you think about all that. Think about all that, okay? The next thing you want to think about is, can I use that thing to make money? So for example, if you're going to ship something over there, would that be of value to you? Now, for example, I have my chainsaw. Now my chainsaw is going to be valuable to me because I need to cut wood. So I'm going to need to cut wood. If we need to cut trees, yes, because chainsaw is very expensive over there. So definitely we're going to want to ship the chainsaw. The chainsaws, because you have many chainsaws. We have small ones, electric one. We have two other ones that use gas. We have a powerful one, a medium sided one, and like a small one that I can use all of them, but we have different levels of power with the chainsaw. Like you can cut small pieces of wood with a little chainsaw, and then the next chainsaw we can cut like different medium-sized branches, and then the other chainsaw, which is so powerful, it can cut through anything. So these are the things that you want to take with you. Would the chainsaw be of value to you? Yes, because maybe you can rent your chainsaw out to make money. People can cut wood with it. You can make a business with your chainsaw, So you have to think about that. The next thing is your lawnmower. Like we have two industrial lawnmower. They're heavy, they're big, and we can take that with us and we can use it to make money. We can mow people's lawn because, as you know, on the continent of Africa, most people, they buy these slashers. The slashers, they look like cutlass with a kind of flat edge that goes to a right angle. So that's what they use to slash. And this takes a long time. If you have a lawnmower, you just you put gas in it and it mow the lawn very quickly. So that's something you can make money with if you ship that there. So I want to take my two lawnmower with me. So maybe my kids, they can go out there and mow the lawn and make some money. And I'm quite sure these lawnmowers are going to come into, it's going to be of good benefit because that'll be mowing our own grass and the neighbors and other people. That could be a fantastic business. So we're definitely going to take those with us. So that's what I'm talking about. Like when you decide to ship things, make sure the things that you're shipping, it's going to be value to you, or you could use to make money, could bring some extra income, or that's something that they don't have there, or that's something that's expensive there, or something like that. So think about the things that you're going to ship, and don't just ship things because you want to ship things or because you sell your house and you have some money, so you're just going to use your money. Like, be wise in what you do. So like for me, I don't think it's really worth it shipping beds and all kind of stuff. I think they have beautiful furniture there. It's much cheaper to get furniture and different things there. You may have to look around and ask somebody to build something for you, but I don't think it's worth it to take furniture and stuff with you. I think it's better to sell your furniture because you can make money off of your furniture here and you can use that money to buy better furniture there. So that's what I think. But I think for like equipment and stuff, yeah. So the next thing you want to do, point number 3, is you have to find out the things that you want to ship. Can you get them cheaper there? Like maybe some of you have a brand new washing machine or a brand new dryer and you're like, oh, I'm going to ship that. So you need to find out the prices of a dryer or washing machine there and see, is it worth it? Maybe I should just sell my own for $200 and use that $200 to buy one there. So these are the things that you want to talk about. You want to think about. But something else is, maybe you have a washing machine and maybe where you're going, they don't have that brand. And you know that this brand is really good because you have that for years and it works perfectly. So that could be a plus sign for you that's saying, okay, I'm just going to ship that thing because I know it's going to last me a next 10 years. So when you're shipping your things, like be smart, like think what you're doing. And then you have to look at prices, the expense. You have to look at the exchange rate of your money. If you come from America or Canada, look at the exchange rate and see if it's really, really worth it. So these are things that you have to look for, right? So think a lot before you decide to ship your things. Look at all the things that you have in your house. Think about the value of that stuff and see what the things are going to do for you, if it's really, really worth it. Look at all that stuff. As for me, I think the chainsaw, I think the lawnmower, I think like all the different tools that we have some different cutting things to cut like branches, like the fence cutters and all those these kind of things. The sander to make a wood flat, or if you have like a wall area and you want to flatten it, like all these kind of tools, electrical tools, like the drills and all those kinds of things. I think these are excellent things to ship. Now, when it comes to like your household things like plates and spoons, those things that are in the kitchen, you also have to make sure that you go through all your stuff and see if it's worth it. And the next thing you have to look at is the plugs that some of these appliances have. Some of the plugs is not the same like what they have there. So you have to pay attention to that too. And sometimes it's not worth bringing those appliances because you will not be able to plug it straight into the wall. You may need to have to get an adapter. And like certain appliances, like heavy appliances like machines and fridge and stuff like that, it's better if you plug it in the wall itself instead of using like an adapter to plug it in. That can cause a fire. It's not good to do that. So if your plug is not going to be the same plug as what they have there, then you shouldn't take your stuff because it's just like, it's kind of dangerous, like plugging anything into an adapter instead of plugging it into the wall. Those heavy things like washing machines and fridges and the stuff like that. So pay attention to that. A lot of you, sometimes you don't pay attention to stuff. I see so many people shipping stuff, bringing stuff, and then it's not good. They have to it's not usable there. But these are things that they're not looking at. Make sure you look at the plug. What kind of plug your washing machine have? What kind of plug your fridge have? Any of those electrical appliances, make sure you take note of that. You understand? Now, let's move on to how to go about choosing a shipping company when you're going to ship your stuff. So I know a lot about shipping companies because we send things back home to the Caribbean to our family members. So we always ship in barrels and stuff like that. Now, we never ship a container completely on our own. The things that we ship is through a third party. So how it works is the company rents their containers to a person, and the person works together with 2 other people, like in a team, and they get people to ship with them. You understand? So that's how it works. And then we work with the person who rents the container from the company. So the person who rents the container from the company, they're responsible for your things. So whatever fee you pay them, they have to make sure that your things reach and everything's well. Whether you pay them insurance, whatever fees they said you have to pay, you pay them, and they make sure that your things get there. They give you a paper, you sign it, they tell you what time it's gonna get there, at the date it's gonna get there, and all that stuff. They also tell you how many fees you have to pay when it gets to the destination. So that is how we've been doing it for many years, sending things back home, sending furniture, sending different things home for our family members. That's how we do it. Now, when it comes to moving stuff on the continent of Africa, it's a different story. So you're gonna have to rent the container for yourself from the company, and the company is gonna ship that container to the destination where you're going, whether it be Kenya, Cameroon, Gambia, wherever, whichever destination you're going, then they're gonna ship it there for you. The entire container is gonna belong to you, and you have to pay for that container. So that's how it works, and you pay the shipping company. So you're not paying like a third party. You're paying the shipping company, and they're responsible for every single thing. So you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention to what you're doing when it comes to those shipping company, because there's a lot of like fine lines, a lot of little fine scripts that you need to read, and you need to know what's going ahead. And I see a lot of people getting themselves into some problems with their shipping company. So let me tell you guys now. So when you're choosing a shipping company, pay attention to the location of the shipping company. That is very important. So if you're in Canada, do not go for a shipping company that is USA based. That can cause some kind of problem. You understand? Don't do that. If you're in the US, get a shipping container from the US. If you're in Canada, get one from Canada, because that's going to cost you more money. And yeah, just don't do that. Sometimes the companies that are in the US, they're much cheaper, and they work with a third party here to get the container to you, but it costs more than if you take like a local person here in Canada or a local person in the US. All right. So location is very important, because that's gonna detail how much you're paying for the container, right? The next one, once you decide you want to go with this company for shipping, make sure you know everything that they're going to offer. Like, read every single thing from top to bottom. What are they offering you? Are they offering you packaging equipment like bubble wrap, different things to wrap your things that you're going to put in there? If you have chairs, beds, fridge, whatever you putting in there, do they have a paper to wrap? Are they going to give it to you, or are they going to assist you in wrapping? You need to find that stuff out, because if you're going to pay all this money to ship you things, and then when you get there things are broken, that's not going to be fun. You're going to be very angry and upset. So please pay attention to those kinds of stuff. If they're not going to supply you with stuff, at least you know, okay, I need to get my stuff, and you need to prepare yourself to wrap your stuff properly. Make sure you get all the information about how the containers are handled, this and that and that. Because depends on how things are handled, you would know what to take and what not to take. If you have very, very fragile things, maybe you shouldn't take them. You should just sell them and just, But if you have things that are not so fragile, and it's okay, you don't have to worry about that. Now, another thing you have to find out is, do they drop off the container for you on your property, or you need to carry your stuff to the port where the container is? That is very, very important. So when they bring the container at your home for you, then it's just easier for you to take your time and pack your stuff inside there. You take a whole week to pack your stuff, take your time, put your stuff in there. If you have to take your stuff to the shipping yard or something like that, it's much more difficult, because you have to go there and pack the stuff. It's a little bit more tedious and a little bit more time consuming, and it's just a lot. You understand? So that's basically what it is. You want to make sure you just want to make sure that you find out that information, because sometimes some of you guys are so fast in doing stuff. You're like, oh, they didn't say that, but you didn't read the fine prints. Like, so you need to really read the fine prints, and you need to ask like a lot of questions. All right. So the next thing is the length of time that you need to pick up your stuff when you get to the final destination. A lot of people have problems with that. They have a lot of problem with that thing. I see that on the internet so much. So they take the shipping company, the thing get to Africa, especially people in in Ghana. It gets to Ghana, and then when they get there, they only have 24 hours or 2 days to pick that stuff up. And there's no way you can pick up something in 24 hours. Sometimes the thing comes, sometimes they arrive late, and they give you like a fixed date to come pick it up. And if you don't pick it up on that day, then you have to start paying money. And it's a lot of money for each day that the container stays at the port in Ghana or in Kenya. So like people have problems with that. So please, if you're watching this video, be careful. When you go to the shipping company, you need to sign a contract with them, and they need to say on the contract, you need to tell you exactly how many days you have to pick up your container at the dock. It's very, very important. So I would say for you to agree for 10 days. 10 days is a good amount of time, or even 7 days is a good length of time. So you have enough time in case the container is delayed, in case it's rainy season where you are there. I saw somebody, it was raining for many days. They couldn't pick up the container. And then obviously they passed the date and it was a big problem, right? So because you don't know the weather. You can't be going to pick up your container when it's raining, because you have to open your container, they have to inspect what is inside of it, and all kind of stuff like that. And if it's raining, you just can't go. Things are going to get wet because you have to take things out and see what is in there, okay? So make sure you ask for 10 days, 7 to 10 days to pick up your container at the final destination, guys. Pay attention to that. Look and read the fine print. If the company says you only have 1 or 2 days to pick up your thing, then that's not a good company for you, because you are going to be paying money at that dock. And next thing is, when you take a company, make sure the company that you take has one fee for everything. So the fee includes bringing the container to your house, or you bringing your belongings to the port and loading the container. And it also involves shipping the container to the final destination and then picking up the container at the final destination without you paying anything at the port where it's at the final destination. Now, if at the final destination they have their own fees or they have their own things, make sure you find out what are the fees from the company, because the company knows what it is. I see people ship their stuff, and when they get to the final destination, they're asking them to pay so much money. And in their contract, it basically said that it says pick up. It doesn't say like you have to pay the people. So you got to make sure that there's some kind of paperwork, there's kind of something written, clearly written down, saying, if, for example, the place that you're going to, say Fort George or somewhere, it has to be some signed contract saying that you don't have to pay this in Fort George. Like, make sure you get your documentation, so when you get there, you're not gonna be stuck. That is very, very important. Make sure whatever money you pay, it covers exactly what they say it has to cover, and make sure you have signed documents. Another thing is, make sure you have people's name. So whichever company you deal with, make sure you have the company contact information. You have somebody that you can reach out to, their name and everything, and not just one person, like 2 to 3 different people, like maybe the secretary, maybe the agent who is at the port. You need to have information, so when you get to final destination, you can actually call people and you can deal with them about your stuff, So make sure like you pay attention to that stuff. Don't, oh, this company costs $5,000. Oh, this is so cheap, let me go with them. And you don't look at all the loopholes and all the little things that are, that are there that you're not paying attention to. And then when you get to the next place now, before you know it, you have to pay to get the container off the ship. Then you have to pay some kind of fee inside the place there. Then you have to pay the agent who is coming to inspect. Then you have to pay somebody again, to take the container to wherever you want it, it's like, it's a lot. And I see a lot of people moving on to the continent of Africa having issue because they didn't do their homework really well. You need to do homework really, really well. Make sure you have every single thing signed, sealed, and make sure, like, I know, like, for the agent, so if you deal with certain companies, they have their own agent in the country of your final destination. So when you get there, you contact their agent and then you deal with their agent. Some of the companies, they don't have that, but they refer you to the agent of your final destination. That's how they do it. The different companies do different things. Make sure you know what your company that you're taking does. Understand? You got me? Got my gist? Right. And for the pickup time, make sure you have like this paper. They're going to give you like a paper and it says pickup time. Make sure it says delay. Make sure you ask them to put in that clause of delay. Make sure you see delay there in your clause, because if your shipment is delayed, then it's going to be there late and then they're going to start to charge you. So make sure that is in your clause, because if that shipment reached there, say it's supposed to reach there on the 3rd, it reached there on the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, that to unship, take things off, move things around, blah, blah, blah. And then when you go there now, they say, oh, well, when you were supposed to pick up your container, you show your stuff. It's the 3rd. Well, today is the 7th. Well, it was raining, it was this, it was that. Madam, you have to pick up your container on the 3rd. It was a day late. We give you like a day grace, but you have not been here because you didn't take the time on your end to your shipping company to say, I need 10 days to pick up my stuff, or I need 7 days, or I need 9 days to pick up my stuff. So make sure you do that. Okay. So let's move to the contract. So on the contract, make sure you read all the contract. Make sure you read it very, very well. Also, make sure you have the agent's full name and the number. Okay? All the agents who's going to deal with you, make sure you get the information. All right? So make sure you know all the information. And then the extra fees, make sure you know the extra fees to the destination also. Because some of this company, I'm telling you, they are old thieves. They tell you, oh, $8,000 to post all your stuff. When you get to your destination, that's it. You just pick up your stuff there and you take it to your house. Huh? And they give you one little contract and nothing else is signed, but because you didn't do your research, you get yourself in all this mess. You understand? So yeah, make sure you find out about this extra fee. And be very clear on what you are paying for. Make sure it is clear and everything is explained to you. And somebody's signature goes there and somebody's telephone number goes there. Another thing is, make sure you have the, like, you of course you're going to have your receipt. I hope none of you is going to lose your receipt, but make sure they give you a sheet of paper that clearly states all the things that it costs. They have their contract, they have this, but there's a sheet of paper that says like the different specific things that the company has offered you. So make sure you have that. Shipping to the dock, pick up, dealing with the agent, no fees, like that kind of stuff. Make sure they give you an outline of all that stuff, and then you have your contract and you are ready to go. Now, don't let somebody tell you this, somebody tell you that, somebody tell you the other. Now, when you go into a country, if you're going to retire to a country, some of those countries, they don't charge you fees at the dock because you come to the country, you're going to retire, and so they don't charge you any fees. Some other countries, they charge you fees. It is very important that you find that out. We have a family member who recently moved to the Caribbean, and when they got there, they had so much issues because the company there refused to unload their stuff because they didn't have clear documentation saying that they were retired and they are coming back to stay. And so we had to stay all the way in Canada here and call the shipping people over there and talk to them and send information. It was a disaster. It took them about two to I think 2 to 3 weeks before they were able to get their container. Or in the end, they were retiring, so they end up didn't getting charged. But God forbid they were not retiring, then they would have been paying a lot of money for 2 to 3 weeks that that container is there waiting to be moved. You understand? So that's what I'm telling you guys, that kind of stuff. Make sure that if you're a retiree, make sure you have proof to show them that you're retiring, and so you can get exempted. Like in my country, Grenada, if you're retiring to your country, then you don't have to pay anything at the dock. It's free for you. If you're not retiring and you're just coming, you're coming to a car, you this, you that, look to pay some money. And so yeah, so that's basically it. So most companies, they don't um like they don't take away the exemption fee, like they don't have that contract with the people that you're going to your final destination. So that's something you have to find out. Does the company that you're using here, for example, if they're a Canadian company, do they have a contract with the port that you're going into, that when you pay them from here in Canada, it's included the fees down there? So you have to find that out. Some companies are no, whatever you pay them here in Canada, that's the fee. And then when you get to your final destination, you pay fees there. It's very important that you find that out, people. Do your research. I'm saying do your research, do your research, do your research, because there is so much people that is traveling and shipping stuff and doing stuff, and they have problems. Why? I don't understand. You people are very competent people. You have sense. Like, why can't you just read something and find out information and get your stuff right and save yourself from, costing like a lot of money and stuff? Like, don't do that stuff, man. Do your research proper. And sometimes the best thing to do is just to go take just the basic things that you need, sell everything else, and just use the money and just start a new life where you are. Because sometimes, like right now, those shipping companies here, they're pretty expensive. $8,000 and up to ship things. So it's not really, really cheap. If you want a smaller container, maybe you can go as low as $2,000 with a small container. It depends on what you're going to bring. But you have to navigate stuff. You have to see if things are worth it for you. You have to make that decision, the final decision with your family. And you have to also make that final decision based on the amount of money that you have in your pocket, and see if it's really worth it. And like I said, if whatever you're going to bring there is going to generate some kind of income for you, then it's worth it. Because say, for example, you take a small container and it's going to cost you $3,000, and you're not bringing like beds and furniture and stuff. You're just bringing like some lawnmower. Maybe you're bringing some tools and equipment. Maybe you're bringing a machine for your garden or something like that. Maybe you're bringing a small tiller or certain things that, maybe you're bringing certain things that it's expensive there, and stuff like that. Bring maybe some of your kitchen appliances, just some small things, not major things, because you're planning to buy your rest of your stuff there. So that's not bad. I think if you're paying like $2,000 and you're just bringing some of those things that it's really necessary, and yeah, that's fine. But I think if you're gonna pay $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, like, whoa, you better have your I's dot and your T's crossed and make sure everything goes right. Okay? So guys, that's basically the video. I promised I was going to come and tell you guys about this video. If you have any questions, please write it in the comment, and I'll try to answer you guys the best way I can, because I am still working on things and I still want to give you guys the best information that I can. So if you have any specific things, just let me know and I will answer you to the best of my ability. And if I don't know something, I'll go to the source and find it out for you all, okay? So now I'm going to answer your question. Hi, Yiwaba. Hi, how are you? Random Vintage says you better go stay for a month in the place you want to go before you can even think of moving to Africa. That's correct. Some people, they don't do that, and then they have issues. Yeah, you need to go there. I mean, you need to go stay. Yeah, I said that yesterday. Like you should go there at least 10 days to a month and see the place, scout out the place. In my yesterday video, I talk about that and make sure that things are good. Jamaican African Travels. Hi, how are you? Shalom, sister. If you are shipping tools and some equipment, it will worth it. But make sure you find the cost before you ship anything. Yes, that's right. Make sure you find the cost before you ship it to see if it's definitely worth it. So guys, that is the live. I thank you for your comments. I thank you guys for coming to the live. I really appreciate you all. And I will see you in the next live. You know, you guys be blessed, stay positive. Remember, you're beautiful. Don't let anybody walk all over you. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, you know. Stay in the Ruha, serve your God, and live the life that you want to live. Okay? And those of you who are on there and you're planning to move and you have friends, share the video with them so they can see. And I'll be coming on here with a lot of more information, things that I find out as I continue my search and things like this and things like that. And like I said, when I get there, any new information that I have, I will be sharing it with you guys, because this channel is for learning. This channel is to elevate us individually and us as a community, because we need to share our knowledge with each other so we can reach higher heights and deeper depths. And some people, they don't like to share things because they want to keep everything for themselves. But here, I love to share things because sharing is caring, and sharing is increasing of knowledge, and sharing brings stronger community. So that's what we're going to do here. So guys, shalom and bye-bye. I will see you in the next live.